Hi, my name is Alan Anderson, and I am still up at Windhorse Retreat Center in this beautiful, snow-covered, lovely day. Gray skies, but it's still beautiful. And I'm here to start our second in our series, the series that we started entitled How Not to Meditate. And again, this is the idea of there's so many ways to go astray with meditation. And I'm just giving some tips regarding some hurdles that I know I and many others face as they practice meditation. First of all, there's this brain, and it's amazing. It's doing so many things. It's conducting my breathing. It's sending blood to all my extremities, making sure the heart is beating regularly. It's digesting food. It's helping me see through what we call the 5 gates. This would be a gate, and the whole body is another one. All these things are going on. And on top of it, it's like our entire body is like its own little pharmacy, creating all kinds of chemicals and all kinds of things going on. So it's creating our dopamine and our serotonin and our norepinephrine, all these things constantly going on in our body. Oops, we need a little bile. Let's bring up the bile. All these things are going on, and it's just incredible. In the midst of all this, and all our thoughts and the emotions and everything like that, we're supposed to meditate in the midst of all that. This incredible activity that's going on. Well, it'll be very difficult to do so if we think that we have to block out all this rich experience, all these rich sensations. If we think that meditation is something outside of this experience right now. We talked about that last time with the instructions, don't meditate. So instead of trying to jump ahead to some other idea of meditation, with all these things going on, senses, thoughts, emotions, etc., the inner pharmacy working day and night, instead of trying to get out of that, away from that, it's so helpful just to get into that. To connect with this present moment and this body that feels all of it, that carries our consciousness through day-to-day experience, not to jump away from that, but to appreciate that fully. So I gave instructions last time, as I said, called do not meditate, don't meditate. And what that was a way to sit down before we start our meditation practice and connect with this moment through this body, through these thoughts, senses, and emotions. So it turns out that that's not only a great way to start a meditation, but it almost really, it is like meditation, right? I mean, we've heard things about meditation being present, being here now, connecting with our heart, all kinds of ways to describe what meditation is. But one way that Tibetans describe it is with the word familiarity. So rather than discovering some new vistas of our meditation and experiencing incredible peace, we get familiar instead. Why would we want to do that? Well, we're so familiar with something else called distraction. Whatever takes our mind away, a thought, a memory, a fear, a hope for the future, a pink poodle walking by with little mittens on a cold winter day. We practice distraction all the time. Instead of practicing distraction, we're going to practice familiarity when we practice meditation. So we're going to get close to this stuff where, as I spoke of, this body and brain that is doing so much. So we're going to say, that's a great place for me to be familiar. That's a great place for me to jumpstart the idea of being here now by, how about being here now? What a brilliant idea. So as we said with the instructions for Don't Meditate, we can sit in upright posture on a chair. It's always good if you're on a chair not to use the back of the chair, but to have this sense of support through the spine, or on a cushion, whatever our situation is. And for a brief moment, before we do this meditation project, this self-improvement project, we just connect first of all to the most obvious things in our body. And that's our tremendously active senses. We can feel our body. We can feel the clothes on our body. The heat of our body, the weight of our body. We just connect with that. No big deal. Feel the body breathing, inhaling, exhaling. Feeling the breath go out, pause, come back in, go out and in. Very simple, but we're not meditating. We're just noticing. Don't meditate. We notice our sense perceptions with our seeing, our hearing, our taste, touch, and we just connect there for a moment. No sense of having to achieve something later, 10 seconds from now, a minute from now. If we just follow our breath and do as we've been taught that something's going to happen, well, what's going to happen is now is going to happen. And then now again, and now again, and now again. This constancy of now rising, fresh. And that includes our thoughts. We're not going to banish our thoughts. Surprise, we all have thoughts. When you see people meditating and they look so good sitting there in their good little cushions and posture, and everyone's struggling with the same thing. Thoughts are constant. They're amazing. We're just trying not to get stuck on them. They come, they stay, they go. Tibetan term for that is Jungne Drosum, the idea that things arise, abide, and cease. And we see that pattern, and that's a great thing to acknowledge and to see. Our emotions are strong. They may make us think, I'm too angry right now. I'm too upset right now. I can't practice. And with the idea of don't meditate, it's taking the approach that, yeah, we notice that's happening. We're angry. We're upset. We're irritated as all as can be. Instead of sweeping that under the rug, we pay attention to that. We're going to be here now. So we connect to thoughts, emotions, senses. Our body's doing so many things, our mind is doing so many things, but we're not going to try to derail that, and we're not going to try to avoid that. If meditation is being familiar and gaining more and more familiarity with ourselves, with the present moment, with our environment, well, we can just keep doing that, and we can start now and not hope for this new thing to evolve later. So as we are practicing in this way, we find that we do get hijacked, we do get distracted, and we notice that. We just let that go. But if we try to push it away, we're going to have a very unfruitful session of meditation. If we push that away, it's going to make things very difficult for us. So a great thing to do is to notice that. You may have instructions like return to your posture, or return to your breath, or return to your mantra, or return to whatever devotion you have, whatever it may be. But before we do that, put in a little gap, a little sense of saying, oh, I just got really distracted, and I was thinking about watching the next episode of whatever on Netflix. And instead of saying, I'm bad, I'm thinking again, we just go, huh. That can be a great practice instruction. It's just, look at that. And then we continue. So, just to go over what we just did, we start with don't meditate. We start with just noticing our world and being present in a way that's not particularly formal. We just connect to these things going on in our body. We just feel our natural breathing. We notice our thoughts. And we notice emotions. And when we get distracted, rather than berate ourselves, rather than consider this to be a failed meditation practice and I'm going to go back, instead have some pumpkin pie with lots of whipped cream, which I may do. But instead of doing that, we go, just for a moment, give yourself that moment to go, I was really thinking about this thing. Or I was really caught up in the argument I had with my brother. Or whether my car will start. Thoughts just come and come and come. So we're going to slip in that little brief moment of, and then come back to whatever it is we come back to, breathing, mantra, whatever. All right. Thanks for reviewing. There will be more upcoming, and we will see that on wisdomsplinter.com, my website, and we'll see that also on the Facebook website for Wisdom Splinter. So thank you, and have a beautiful day.